Solo Sikoa and The Bloodline not on good terms. Who is teaming up with Cody Rhodes at WWE Survivor Series WarGames? The Undertaker is set to join the Wyatt Sicks. Brock Lesnar returns to WWE RAW. Finn Balor brings back the Demon. Batista debunks a huge rumor. Let's dive right in. Solo Sikoa and The Bloodline not on good terms. Last night's episode of WWE NXT was an exciting affair. The show featured the in-ring debut of Julia, a last man standing match in the main event, and an open challenge held by TNA Knockouts World Champion Jordynne Grace. One of the most highly anticipated matches lined up for the card did not end up taking place. The Rascals were set to take on Fraxiom's Nathan Frazer and Axiom. Instead, the Rascals were pulled from the match. Thankfully, the Street Profits stepped up and fought the champions instead. Unfortunately, things went awry. The two great teams were in the middle of a fantastic bout when Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa showed up. The Bloodline stars laid out all four men before leaving the Performance Center. Notably, Solo Sikoa didn't join his Bloodline stablemates. Many are wondering the reason behind the self-proclaimed tribal chief's absence. Let's take a look on a few possible explanations, which include potential trouble brewing within the faction, the Bloodline's NXT future, and more. Here are 3 reasons why Solo Sikoa did not accompany the Bloodline on WWE NXT. Number 1. Solo Sikoa may be looked at as too big for WWE NXT. Solo Sikoa's rise in WWE has been quite impressive to see. He started his career in NXT a few years ago, before joining the main roster in 2022. From there, Solo became the enforcer of Roman Reigns' bloodline. Fast forward to 2024, and Sikoa leads the Dangerous stable. He booted out Jimmy Uso and Paul Heyman and recruited Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa to form his version of the bloodline. The Street Champ appointed himself as the tribal chief and repeatedly called out Roman during the latter's absence. While Roman returned to WWE TV at SummerSlam and laid out his former enforcer, Solo and Co. managed to regain control on SmackDown following a vicious attack on the original tribal chief. Solo is no longer an underdog. He is a top star. His current stocks in the Stamford-based promotion could be exactly why the Bloodline leader didn't appear on the NXT show. Triple H and company officials may be attempting to protect his aura. Granted, the likes of Cody Rhodes and CM Punk have or will soon be making appearances on the brand. Alternatively, the likes of The Rock and Roman Reigns do not appear on the show. The game may want to protect Solo and treat him as too big of a star for NXT. Number 2. This could be setting up further issues within the Bloodline. An interesting video was shot following the shocking assault by Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu. The 3 were seen leaving the WWE Performance Center, and they were gloating about what they did. Notably, Tama Tonga said that the Bloodline's actions were by orders of the tribal chief. Notably, though, Tama didn't specifically say who the tribal chief was. It is easy to assume that he meant Solo Sikoa, but that might not actually be the case. Many have been under the belief that The Rock has been secretly dictating much of what the Bloodline does behind the scenes, so Tama could have meant the assault was ordered by the final boss. Alternatively, Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa had a tense moment on Friday Night SmackDown last week. While things ended with the Samoan werewolf backing down, many think the two are in for a collision in the future. Could Fatu be throwing his weight around in his attempt to take over the group? Solo not appearing could have been an attempt to build some drama within the Bloodline. Number 3. Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa may not be done with the brand. The final potential reason for Solo Sikoa not joining Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa on WWE NXT could come down to the fact that the 3 may end up being on the brand more regularly. This would make sense, as the 3 had bypassed the developmental show this year. Jacob Fatu, for example, could end up targeting the winner of Trick Williams versus Ethan Page for the NXT Championship next month. Meanwhile, Tama and Tonga could potentially fight Fraxiom in a unification match for the NXT and WWE Tag Team titles. If Solo Sikoa isn't going to be used regularly on NXT, then it made sense for the Street Champ to not appear alongside the trio last night. This is similar to Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro going to NXT without Rey Mysterio. They still work on the brand, even without their leader. Who is teaming up with Cody Rhodes at WWE Survivor Series WarGames? WWE only has a few main roster premium live events left this year. The next big show will be Bad Blood in October. From there, Crown Jewel will take place live from Saudi Arabia in early November. The last major main roster premium live event in 2024 will be Survivor Series WarGames. The show will be held live from the Rogers Arena in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, on November 30th, 2024. As the name implies, the show will host at least one WarGames match. For now, it isn't at all clear as to which performers will be stepping into the dangerous structure. One star who could is Cody Rhodes, a current world champion and the top star of SmackDown. Not only might he compete at Survivor Series WarGames, but he could lead his very own team. Let's take a look at 4 stars who could potentially be part of Team Cody Rhodes if he does indeed compete inside the WarGames cage. This includes a popular tag team, a longtime friend, and a mentor. Here are 4 potential members of Team Cody Rhodes if he competes at the WWE Survivor Series WarGames PLE. Number 1. Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes are longtime allies. Randy Orton is an all-timer in WWE and pro wrestling as a whole. He has been with the sports entertainment juggernaut since 2002 and has remained a prominent figure for over 2 decades. He's a 14-time world champion and WrestleMania headliner. The Viper is just coming off a major defeat. Orton battled Gunther at Bash in Berlin in the main event of the Germany-hosted show. He has yet to appear on television in the time since then. Orton and Rhodes have a long history in WWE dating back to Cody's debut in the company. They were also allies in Legacy. If Cody can count on anyone to have his back in WarGames, it is the Legend Killer. In fact, they have even competed in WarGames before. Randy was Cody's surprise partner in the Dangerous Structure just a year ago at the 2023 Survivor Series WarGames Premium Live event. Orton and Rhodes uniting again is a logical move that fans should expect. Number 2, Johnny Gargano, and number 2, Tommaso Ciampa. DIY had Cody Rhodes back on WWE SmackDown. DIY is one of the top tag teams in WWE today. The duo is comprised of Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. They took off as a team in NXT, but later went on to become rivals before reuniting on the main roster. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa had the biggest win of their careers, and then subsequently suffered the most painful loss. The two won the WWE Tag Team titles from A-Town Down Under, but only held the gold briefly before losing to the Bloodline. Ciampa and Gargano have been consistently victimized by the Bloodline, and especially by Jacob Fatu. He has beaten down the two talented stars on multiple occasions, and that surely eats away at the incredible tag team. As a result, it would only make sense for DIY to step up and have Cody Rhodes' back in WarGames. They, alongside the Street Profits, supported Cody on Friday Night SmackDown last week, so why wouldn't they do so in a massive WarGames match? Number 3. Kevin Owens and the American Nightmare are friends for now. Kevin Owens is a pro wrestling veteran and a WWE mainstay. He has been wrestling for over 2 decades and competed in Ring of Honor, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, and various other promotions before joining NXT. He has since gone on to become the Universal Champion and a 2-time WrestleMania main eventer. The prize fighter and Cody Rhodes are also longtime friends. The two have had each other's back in wars against both the Bloodline and the Judgment Day. In theory, the two of them uniting makes a lot of sense. There is one potential drawback, however. Rhodes and Owens recently clashed over the undisputed WWE Championship. There was a lot of tension heading into the bout and during the match itself, with many believing Kevin would turn heel on Cody. Ultimately, he never betrayed the American Nightmare, even if signs pointed towards it happening. Whether Kevin and Cody will remain friends moving forward remains to be seen, but if they do, it would be a true test of their friendship. That could mean Owens would be a perfect partner for the American Nightmare if he steps inside the WarGames structure later this year. The Undertaker is set to join the Wyatt Sicks. The Wyatt Sicks are shaking things up in WWE with their electrifying segments and thrilling matches. Following their recent triumph in an 8-person tag team match against American Made on WWE RAW, they seem poised to harness this momentum forward. They could now set their sights on the biggest names in WWE. Growing their group could be a major goal, possibly attracting new members who vibe with their mysterious and shadowy image. Plus, they might aim to snag championships, using their recent wins to go after different titles and show off their power in various divisions. What will be the next possible step for the faction? Here are 3 directions for the faction. Number 1. The Wyatt Sicks crosses paths with the Judgment Day and recruits Damian Priest. The group might set their sights on the Judgment Day and bring Damian Priest on board as their final recruit. They could burst into the ring, catching Judgment Day off guard while they're going after Priest, giving him a hand. The Wyatt Sicks could then step in and personally extend an invitation to Priest, guaranteeing him power and control if he joins them. Giving the Archer of Infamy a dark, supernatural vibe similar to The Undertaker could spice up his character. By leaning into mystery and a creepy aura, Damian Priest could take his persona to a whole new level. Imagine him teaming up with Dexter Lumis or Eric Rowan to snag the tag titles from Finn Balor and JD McDonough. That victory would not only establish them as a top tag team, but also inject some fresh energy into the tag team scene. Number 2. The The Wyatt Sicks help Alexa Bliss climb to the top once she returns, helping her win the Women's World Championship. Since she's had a history with Bray Wyatt and his crew, teaming up Little Miss Bliss with the Dark Faction could flesh out her character and open up new storylines. When Alexa Bliss makes her comeback after being away for a while, the Wyatt Sicks could back her up and help her navigate challenges to earn a title shot. Ultimately, they assist her in claiming the title against whoever the champ is at that time. With a victory, Bliss can wholeheartedly embrace the Wyatt Sicks, reinforcing their supremacy and weaving her new role into the faction's sinister plans. Number 3. The Wyatt Sicks approach Braun Strowman. The 386 pounds monster among men might just be the final addition to the crew. Strowman used to be a part of the Wyatt family alongside the late Bray Wyatt. If Strowman decided to team up with them again, it would add a touch of nostalgia and enrich the storyline by showcasing their history together. Braun Strowman's raw power would add a new layer to the group, making them even more intimidating. It would be interesting to see how his character interacts with the others, and what kind of storylines could emerge from this new alliance. Overall, it could be a great way to revitalize Strowman's character and bring some fresh energy to the Wyatt Sicks. Brock Lesnar returns to WWE RAW. Brock Lesnar has been away from WWE programming for over a year. However, with Crown Jewel season approaching, the company could bring back one of their biggest draws. One of the ways to incorporate him into a storyline could be a feud with Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed has been wreaking havoc on RAW almost every week for a while now. The powerhouse first took out Seth Rollins, breaking multiple ribs. Reed then attacked R-Truth and sidelined him as well. Not even Braun Strowman was able to stop the Australian star, as Reed caused significant damage to the monster of all monsters by hitting him with a tsunami on the top of a car. Bronson also attacked Strowman on Raw this past Monday, and the duo are likely to clash again in a singles match sometime down the line. The way Bronson Reed has been booked over the last few weeks, one can expect him to go over Braun Strowman in the potential match between them. Then, Brock Lesnar could make his return to lay out the powerhouse and set up a feud between them that could culminate in a match at Crown Jewel. However, the whole scenario depends on when the Beast Incarnate returns to WWE. Brock Lesnar has been off the wrestling radar for over a year. The Beast Incarnate was last seen in action at SummerSlam 2023, where he lost to Cody Rhodes. While he was slated to return at Royal Rumble this year, plans changed after he was allegedly referenced in a lawsuit against Vince McMahon. With Lesnar not around, MVP believes that WWE should have replaced him with Bobby Lashley. The veteran also expressed his frustration with the company's booking of the Almighty. He still looks better than everybody on the roster. He's in better shape than everybody on the roster. He can literally kick everybody's A's on the roster. If you're trying to make these new guys, Bobby, on his way out, is somebody you should still keep. If you lost Brock, why wouldn't you stick Bobby in that spot? Bobby is Black Brock. Why wouldn't you use Bobby in that position and make guys on the way out? Triple H retired when he was 49 or 50. Bobby just turned 48, said MVP. Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley were embroiled in a feud in 2022 that ended abruptly. The Beast Incarnate went on to face Omos at WWE WrestleMania 39 and then had a feud with Cody Rhodes. Finn Balor brings back the Demon. Finn Balor put himself in quite a predicament this week on Raw. After weeks of ducking his former friend and tag team partner Damian Priest, he decided to step up to him. It was quite a shock, as he took the initiative and challenged the Archer of Infamy to a match at WWE Bad Blood. However, even with the Judgment Day at his side, defeating Priest remains a tall task, which is why he might embrace his past to do so. In this scenario, his past, as some of you may have already worked out, has to do with his alter ego. While many know him as the Prince now, Finn Balor once had an inner demon that surfaced at times. The demon, as many remember, is a force to be reckoned with, and it is this very force that could help Balor overcome Damian Priest. Finn Balor is aware of Damian Priest's strength. In the last few weeks, he has seen firsthand just how unstoppable his former friend is. After all, there were times when the entire Judgment Day struggled to deal with him. With that in mind, Balor could look to embrace his past and bring out the demon in an attempt to settle things once and for all at WWE Bad Blood. The return of the demon would be quite the sight. However, at this point, this is nothing more than speculation. Only time will tell if Balor decides to call upon his inner demons for this match. WWE Bad Blood means a lot to Finn Balor, and for a variety of reasons. Of course, primarily it is his chance to escape Damian Priest's shadow and once again establish himself as a force in WWE. However, this will also be Balor's first PLE singles match after 396 days. The last time Balor stepped into the ring for a one-on-one confrontation at a PLE was at SummerSlam 2023. There, he challenged Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Ironically, it was on that night that Balor believes Priest cost him a title, and now, more than a year later, he gets to settle the score. It will be interesting to see how this highly anticipated match between Balor and Priest goes down. Who will come out on top? Will this be the end of their heated feud? Batista debunks a huge rumor. Batista might be away from WWE, but the Animal always considers wrestling his first love, as he began his career while being a part of the business. Recently, he debunked a major rumor regarding his position in Evolution and cleared the air on Mark Jindrak's status with the faction. In 2003, Evolution became a full-fledged faction under Triple H's leadership and Ric Flair's guidance. The veterans took Randy Orton and Batista under their wing, and the group dominated Monday Night Raw for years to come. However, there were vignettes where Mark Jindrak filled in for the Animal. In an interview on Insight with Chris Van Vliet, Batista debunked the rumor regarding Mark Jindrak's addition to the group. The Animal stated his injury caused WWE to try out a new star, and the company returned to him, as it didn't work out with Jindrak. No, Mark Jindrak, never had that spot. So I was with OVW, and I got injured. I was out for a while, and they didn't want to keep waiting for me. They thought they should fill the spot. So they were testing out Mark Jindrak, and they did film some stuff with him. And they decided it just didn't work as well, and they wanted to wait for me to come back and be healthy. I know, because I've heard that rumor, and it's just not true. It was always meant to be us four, Batista said. Batista's career with WWE was short compared to his other OVW classmates like Brock Lesnar, John Cena, or Randy Orton. However, the Animal was at the top of his game for years before he decided to transition out of wrestling. In an interview with Chris Van Vliet, the six-time WWE World Champion stated he felt his career was not Hall of Fame worthy. However, Triple H talked to him and helped him change his mind about it. A few years ago, WWE announced the star for the Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, it was changed due to the ongoing pandemic, and the Animal's induction is still on the waiting list for the company.